University of Washington.
Say bye. Thank you. I'm Garen Wedeking.
Karen? I'm Naveen. Very nice to meet you.
Ed, we're from UW Foster School of Business. We'll be talking about Uber. Are you personally familiar with Uber?
I am. But
okay.
Let's deal with this. And
the first minute beforehand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so you don't, feel free to talk when I'm not distracted. So let me get this right for you. And do you have, let's see, let's do yours. All right, this should be fine. And all you have to do, whichever of you is going second, all you have to do is hit start. Okay. And mine is more problematic. And again, I apologize. So please give me your minute off the clock to tell me who you are and what role you're playing and the role you want.
Sure. I'm Garen Wedeking. I'm Ed from Foster School of Business UW. You are the CEO, and this is the executive suite of Uber. We are strategy consultants brought in to talk about a watershed moment in a business, legal, and ethical situation, which we'll get into more specifically. I would ask that you have just a tiny touch of suspended disbelief as we gloss over the business and legal side.
I'm big on suspended disbelief.
Okay. Okay. There you go.
Yeah. Are you ready? Okay. Well, let's do it then.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Okay. You let me know.
Yeah. Oh no, I definitely will let you know. Jeez. Yes.
Well, thank you very much for bringing us on. Naveen and I will be taking you through this scenario that we talked about yesterday. The data security practices and tools of Uber. And as you know, Uber is founder and industry leader of the app-based transportation model. Having expanded over 50 countries, we are working on becoming a global enterprise rather than just a US company operating broadly. We're thinking about an Ireland tax inversion. The press may say that Uber is a cab company. Uber marketing suggests it's a lifestyle company. It turns out we're a data company. The difference between Uber and any old taxi is not the car, it is not the driver, it is not our name, it is our platform, it is the mechanism that we are built on. In order to operate, we need to garner information from our clients, from our drivers, from our stakeholders. This information is sensitive. Point of parity, name, address, credit card number, phone number, etc., email. Target, Sony, Home Depot, these companies have had data breaches. Why are they different than us? Uber deals with the physicality of our clients and our drivers, of our stakeholders. They deal with the actual body and the physical safety. And that is unique to the app-based transportation model. And as industry leaders, it's unique to us. So what this creates is the opportunity to know exactly where they are. What you need is a phone with an app. Doesn't even need to be running, just the GPS location going out to the Uber system. That tells you where they've gone, where they are, where they're going, when they just left their home, or God forbid, when they're just getting back. So personal and physical safety is very much what I'd like to speak about today. So what do we do? The very data that has become Uber's Achilles heel is what we're built on. It's what we need. Can't just get rid of it. So we're going to make a move today. This is change what's become our biggest weakness into a new competitive advantage.
Thank you, Garen. So to further talk about Uber's current approach to data security, let's examine the internal tool named by Uber called the God View. It is the tool that can track where a rider is anywhere, anytime, as long as the app is running on the customer's phone. Uber doesn't really see this as confidential information. In fact, Uber posted a photo of the God View tool on their company Facebook page while at a corporate dinner. And this is a common practice at Uber. You may recall last year, a year ago, we received a lot of negative media attention when reporter Peter Sims wrote an article about Uber exposing his private data without his consent. Sims wrote that he was riding in an Uber car in Chicago when he received an unsolicited text from an acquaintance. The texter mentioned that she can see every move he's making. Also, the texter informed Sims that he was being tracked, and everyone at the party could see where his whereabouts are. When Sims expressed his concern, the texter reportedly told him to calm down and be honored to have been one of the chosen ones at the event. So you see, it's these kind of anecdotes that generate bad PR and shake consumers' trust. So why don't we just get rid of it? Well, contracted drivers need the underlying technology of the GodView tool, the GPS tracking. This is what makes Uber drivers so reliable and convenient. There are no misconnections, no wait times, and no hassle. However, they do not need full access to the GodView tool. Currently, all corporate employees have access to the GodView tool despite of their job function or title. Many Uber positions do not need this to perform their duties, so it is not necessary for everyone to have access to it. The majority of customers are unaware that the GodView tool even exists. So customers do agree to Uber's terms and conditions, however, nothing in the text explicitly talks about the tool. So the GodView tool is a very helpful and necessary tool, but only to a very select group of employees. It must be recognized that the flip side is that this tool also carries a lot of risk. Cyber criminals also benefit greatly from this tool. For example, the data breach that occurred last winter has enabled people to sell user information on the dark web. For as little as $1, someone out there could buy your Uber account information and steal your identity. This risk does Uber no favors in the media. The onslaught of media coverage is trying to twist Uber's image into a company that is careless about security and lackadaisical about the customer's experience. But Uber's mission is far from that. So with regard to ethical considerations, there are two ways of thinking about it. First, Uber's mission is rooted in consequentialism. Uber's very reason for being is to provide the greatest good for the greatest number of people. In this scenario, the harm is greater than the benefit that Uber's service provides. The loss of personal safety is not worth an affordable, reliable cab ride. The other consideration is the deontological view of Uber having the duty to provide data privacy to customers. From an ethical standpoint, all individuals have a fundamental right to their privacy, and respect for the individual constitutes protecting their data. Uber has a duty with the consumer-business relationship to respect consumers' trust. Therefore, it is unethical to violate the consumer's individual rights of privacy and safety by jeopardizing consumer information which the consumer has entrusted Uber with. It is very important to remember that a great, long-lived brand begins and ends with trust. Uber is currently being unfair to their consumers because the consumers are unaware of how their data is kept, used, and distributed. So, what is the ethical solution? Uber must develop a strong ethical culture. So what that means is Uber must revise their code of conduct and make it more available. Specify that the data privacy security is a priority in the code of conduct. Currently, the code of conduct is very basic and focused on the actual service itself. Also, as you know, the code of conduct is currently hidden under the help section of the website, and so this makes it pretty difficult to find. Also, Uber must train employees about data security and what the rules of compliance are. Have update sessions in order to make sure that Uber employees are up to date on the most recent data privacy policies. Also, of course, monitor this closely. It is also important that Uber's mission and values include protecting consumers' personal information in order to help establish a strong ethical company culture based on respecting data privacy. As you know, Uber's current mission is transportation as reliable as running water everywhere for anyone. This communicates two things. One, the desire to impact the greater good, and two, to add the most value to every customer. However, it is missing any mention of safety, even though this is one of the highest values for most consumers. Therefore, we propose providing the safest, most convenient, and most trusted transportation network for anyone in any part of the world. Uber as a global company should be trusted, and this new mission statement communicates having a company culture of security around the brand that people will trust and believe in for years to come. So it is important that Uber values customers and treats them as ends themselves and not as means to an end. Garen?
Thanks, Nadine. So as we described yesterday, the financial outlays for this are 0.25% from 2014 revenues. I hope that what Naveen has said, what's at stake here, I mean, there's no question whether or not we should go forward with this. So let's talk about what we do moving forward. So we're going to develop a CECO role, or a Chief Ethics and Compliance Officer role, that will be joining this room. It's an executive suite role, a VP underneath and director, a staff of about 12 to 15 total. They will take what the consultants we bring in will implement and develop, and will own it between about 18 months to about 3 years from now. Industry leadership. So we've talked about industry leadership. What does that mean? Yes, profit, market share, fantastic, but how do we get there? How we get there is most important. To conclude, Uber must treat all stakeholders as persons and not data points. Uber must regulate internally and then look at what our new policy is reflecting as an ethical foundation. Then look outside to see regulations from outside are much, much more costly. To be litigated and obligatory regulations are just obscenely expensive. And if you do it yourself, you look good in the press, and you become an industry leader in data security. We need to communicate the value proposition to our corporate and administrative members, and the value proposition to our stakeholders, who are the people with the rubber on the road, our drivers and our clients. Thank you.